Hi, you guys, this is Miss Tao. Today we'll be talking about one of the five themes of geography. Our learning target is I can explain the five themes of geography. Here are the five themes: location, place, movement, human interaction, and region. Today we will focus on human interaction. Let's take a look at this photo. You want to ask yourself, what is this? What does it have to do with human interaction? Can you guess what this photo is? This photo is called terrace. It is a type of farming method growing crops on side of hills or mountains. People who live in this area have to adapt to their environment by using the available natural resources. What you see here are the people growing rice. Human interaction. When we think of human interaction, I want you guys to ask the question, how do humans depend on, adapt to, or change their environment? For example, how would you adapt to life in another country? For example, Canada. If the weather is a lot colder there than it is in the Carolinas. So you would have to adjust your lifestyle. Clothing, food might be a little different, transportation, more diverse culture. So think about it. How would you adapt your life to another country? By doing this, we need to take a look at some of the positive and negative effects on an environment. Let's take a look at these two photos. The first one, people are spending time outside and appreciating their outdoor environment. It looks very clean. Then you have this photo, which is a negative effect on the environment. It's way too much trash, and overuse of materials can lead to this type of waste. And we want to avoid this as much as possible. So it is important to think about how you impact the environment, whether it's in a positive or negative way. We depend on the environment, and we depend on the natural resources, which are materials from Earth which people can use to meet their needs: soil, trees, wind, oil. And within these natural resources, we have renewable resources, materials that cannot be used up or be replaced, like the sun, water, trees. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of solar panels, which absorb the sun rays and convert into electricity or heat. Then you have non-renewable resources, which are natural materials which are in limited supplies and cannot be replaced, such as oil, coal, fossil fuel. Think of your electricity, think of gas. So as we depend on these natural resources, we have to change our environment, right? So we need to ask the question, how do people change their environment to suit their needs? People have built dams, and dams were built to regulate water supplies. But the negative effect to that is if it breaks, what happens? All the water is going to go everywhere. And it's going to displace people, displace wildlife. Let's take a look at the terrace land. What are the positive and negative effects to that? Terrace lands are usually created in lands where there's a lot of hills and mountains. But people had to survive, and they had to feed their community. So therefore, they build terrace to grow crops. Cities. Let's take a look at this city picture right here. There's a lot of buildings. You're catering to the population. You have to cater to the consumer, to the business. So think about what is changing around you. How do we impact our earth, and how does our earth impact us? Ultimately, we impact our earth, and we want to make sure we are sustainable. And what that means is to preserve our natural resources for future generations. So that when people move around the world and when they find a new home, they can actually live there for a long time and be sustainable by using resources, the natural resources that's available. So when you're working on your project, I want you guys to think about, how do people change the environment in your area? Think about how Highway 42 is expanding and why. More restaurants, new homes. What else in your area that is changing? Make sure you guys are using your class time to work on your 5 themes of geography project. In your Google slide, you'll see one link here which helps you define human interaction and the other 5 themes. And here is an example from myself that I had drew for the 5 themes. Please make sure you ask questions